Hello, freak bitches. You know, one of the things we were talking about that I think is kind of important, like when you're talking about immigration and like bad apples and stuff like that, I look at immigration the same way I look at gun control. Like most people that have guns are law-abiding citizens, and it's not going to be a problem. The vast, vast majority. And I think that's the same case with immigration and the same case with people coming to America, even illegally. They want to do better. That's why they're coming here. They're not coming here because they want to start crime.
Sure.
Most of them are coming here because they want opportunities.
With guns, I totally agree. I want a shotgun so badly. When I need a double barrel, like I want a shotgun.
Yeah.
And I've shot a lot of guns, especially for the Daily Show. I've done
shot guns for the Daily Show.
Oh my god! I've
Is
done
that like
so
mandatory?
Many, I've done.
Look, you guys gonna be telling jokes? You're gonna have to learn how to fucking clear a room.
You gotta learn how to defend yourself. Okay. All right. Follow me. Now, this is a Thompson machine gun. Okay.
Trigger discipline. It's very important for the Daily Show.
I've shot 50 caliber,
Whoa.
Sniper busters.
50 calibers are ridiculous.
Yeah, dude. I'll show you a video after this. Actually, maybe this hasn't really even aired because it was part of a pilot that I did. I did a pilot for Comedy Central when I left the Daily Show. It was an anti-travel show called This Place Sucks.
That didn't go?
Dude, I'll send it to you.
That's a great idea just in concept.
Dude, it's the fucking funny. You know what they said?
What?
Too mean. Everybody said it was too mean. It's fucking hilarious. I go, we did it in Kansas City. I go, hey, everybody, my name's Al Madrigal. I'm in Kansas City. I'm going to tell you why this place sucks. I fucking just shit all over it. And
you need to just do that online.
Oh, yeah. I should just put them out. So
that is a great idea for all things comedy. Why don't you just, like, buy
Start
up the
making
idea?
Them. I totally should.
Do you own the idea?
It's my idea. Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's a great idea.
So
that idea, like, as soon as you set it up, bing!
Yeah.
You know, someone says an idea and a light bulb goes off. Like,
Easy
that's
show.
a real idea.
And I do it in San Francisco. When I do it, San Francisco's fucking filthy. It is one of the dirtiest cities I've ever been to in my entire life. And also, it's like filled with rich douchebags now because of the internet boom and all this tech boom, and it's poor people are getting moved out. There's so much stuff to make fun of. So anyway, I made fun of. I went to this place, OMB Guns. And I shot fucking machine guns, handguns, like I shot everything. And then for the Daily Show, I went and I drove a tank. I got to drive tanks. I was doing these Chieftain tanks that I was driving. I got to run over 2 Saturns in a tank.
Really?
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Whoa! How do you drive a tank? Like, what do you?
Yeah,
is
it's
there
levers.
A gas?
No, yeah, it's levers, and there's yeah, you can watch. And there was this hot chick that they had that was working there that was on it with me, and at the same place I got to fire machine guns. But I feel like when it comes to automatic weapons and the 50 caliber sniper buster and all that shit, I don't understand why you need to own that. I liked shooting it. I'll go shoot that stuff again. I really enjoyed it. You're gonna see me shoot that 50 caliber thing,
right?
Like there was a shockwave.
Oh yeah. Like your head flies back.
You can watch my arms and the skin on my arms ripple after I fucking shoot it. Because I wore a sleeveless shirt to shoot it, like Staccato, and I fucking boom.
Wow.
And I enjoyed it. I like shooting that shit. Now, I want the shotgun to defend my house when everything goes to hell.
Zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, zombie apocalypse. I need a shotgun. I want just somebody to hear, like that, get the fuck away from the door. You know what I have by my bed right now? Hammers.
A hammer?
I have a hammer. Like Bill makes fun of me. Like he thinks it's the craziest thing. Like
you keep it by your bed?
I keep a hammer under my bed. Like I'm gonna fucking get up and like close contact, like hammer somebody to death. Yeah. And so
that seems like you thought it through, like really like on a surface level.
I have a Magnum flashlight, and I got
Magnum flashlight.
Yeah,
that always kills me that people think they're gonna club somebody with a flashlight.
No, I'm a flashlight in one hand, and blind them, and then fucking run in and hammer.
Why not a real weapon?
I want a real weapon. I got knives. I have all close contact.
How come you never got a gun?
Oh, my wife fucking.
Oh, one of them.
Yep. I'll get one. I'm working on her. She gets it. Yeah, she knows.
What you got to do is a false flag in the house. Hire some friends to break in.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
That's a terrible idea. A false flag. You're like the Dick Cheney of households.
Oh, my God. So, yeah, I want the gun badly, but I feel like with an AK-47, and maybe people can write, like, only bad things have happened with people, sure, there's responsible gun owners, but you look at Dylan Roof and you look at, Columbine, you look at all these, people getting shot up everywhere, and Sandy Hook. Like, I don't want that to happen. I don't want my kids. I was walking along.
Well, you have a safe. You put your guns in a safe.
Why do you need an AK-47?
You don't. You don't need an AK-47.
I'm saying have all the handguns.
But the thing is, like, who should be able to decide who gets what? That's where it gets weird.
Yeah. And what about silencers, too?
Well, here's the thing. In Europe, silencers are thought of as a polite thing because we're over in America worried about shooting people. They're worrying about noise. So, like, if you have what they call a suppressor,
Yeah.
Like, if you're hunting, you would hunt with a suppressor on because you don't want to blow your fucking ears out, man.
I'll put the links out to these 2 pieces that I did, Daily Show spots. I'll do the one, if you go to my thing, the Twitter, I'll put it on, I'll send them to you. That when I drove the tank and fired all those guns, and then I did a silencer piece as well. And the guy was saying he wanted to protect kids' ears with the silencers. And that's what Donald Trump Jr. is saying, kids. And
well,
I'm worried.
The reality is, though, and this is true, I know a lot of friends that are hunters that shot guns as kids, and they're fucked up now. Their ears are a mess.
Shouldn't they wear the...
Yeah, they should. But they didn't when they were younger because they didn't know any better. Mm-hmm. See, 20 years ago, people didn't know that you were going to do permanent damage to your ear. You never heard about it. Like, these people just shot guns.
But I think also the unfortunate reality now is that you could have somebody walking around undetected, shooting people in a college, in a community college.
Yeah.
I was on KCRW and walking around the Santa Monica campus, and I really did think, I'm like, okay, who's the shooter?
Right.
Like I was wondering, and that shouldn't be a thought.
No, it shouldn't. Yeah, I mean, it's a mental health issue. Because, like, the only person that's capable of doing that is a person who's sick.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that doesn't come up when you're talking about mass shootings is whenever you hear about it in the news, nobody makes the correlation, the inescapable correlation between psychoactive drugs and mass shootings. Because there's a lot of fucking mass shooters, like almost all of them, that are either on pharmaceutical drugs like SSRIs, dissociative drugs, or they're getting off of them, antipsychotic drugs.
So what can be done? Is there there is no common ground? You start having people we live in this country where you should be able to do whatever you want and have whatever you want, but then who gets to decide who gets
good question.
What guns?
Well, Texas is sort of taking the idea that just everybody has a gun. Well-armed society is a polite society. What am I, Ron White all of a sudden?
Yeah, and then teachers should have guns in the classroom.
And bulletproof helmets, full vests.
Jesus.
AK-47s right there, right there. Put down the chalk. I don't know, man. It sucks.
Yeah,
it sucks that you have to think about
this.
There's
no easy solution.
Yeah. It just... Every time one of those things happens, everybody buckles down and wants to take away guns and try to figure out legislation. And I just feel like the root of the problem is not the tools that people are using. It's the fact that someone's willing to use those tools. The fact that someone is willing to do that. The fact that those guns are more accessible is a genuine issue.
But I think we can all agree that no one came for the guns. Obama, everybody's like, Obama's coming for the guns.
Well, do you know why?
Because
the NRA. Because the NRA is too strong. The lobby's too strong. They've spent a shitload of money and continue to spend a shitload of money to make sure they protect the Second Amendment rights.
Yeah, but so you're saying if not for the NRA, that
100%.
they would have taken all the guns.
They would have definitely done something similar to what Australia did. Australia essentially made gun ownership very, very, very difficult. They took away guns. They enacted very strict laws, and they had like one mass shooting a long time ago.
They had a big mass shooting a long time ago. That's the thing that they don't have is like these big mass shootings.
Yeah.
When you see...
But Australia has the same amount of people as California, and it's the size of the United States.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just saw a thing. It was a map comparisons that blow your mind. It's like it's the exact same size.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And people are spread,
way spread out. And it's the same amount of people as Los Angeles. And it's in this giant-ass fucking country. So when you think about being able to take people's guns, in Australia, it's different. The culture's different. The idea of independence is different over there. We have a different attitude over here.
Yeah, I just don't want to... when you have little kids, again, it's just everything changes, which like I don't ever want to worry about them growing up in a society where a teacher does have to think about wearing a fucking helmet.
Of course. I mean, nobody wants to think that. I don't know what the solution is, but the solution, look, getting the guns away from the people. There's more guns than there are human beings in America. And they're not going to stop making guns.
No, it's a good business.
Yeah, I don't think the guns are the problem. I really don't. I mean, I support gun ownership. I really do. I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is, look, we saw in France, in Nice, that some crazy fucking take a car and kill 100 people by plowing over people.
Yeah, and just start stabbing people, too. Get out of the car and just fucking start stabbing folks.
There's ways that people lose their fucking minds and do horrible things to people. And the ways are not the things you have to take away. You have to figure out a way. And
take away all hammers? No.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know what the solution is, but I don't think anybody does. The
no,
idea
obviously
of taking
not.
all those guns away.
I think what you're getting at with the mental health stuff is I'm not opposed to there being a screening process and seeing if you have a history of violence.
Of course, yeah.
And if you show up on a terrorist watch list, and that's where I think the NRA goes overboard. It's like, if you're on a fucking terrorist watch list, who doesn't agree with that?
Well, the only problem with that is who gets to decide who's on that terrorist watch list, because there was people that were from the Green Party that were put on terrorist watch lists after 9/11 because they were anti-war protesters, and they were put on no-fly lists. There was a lot of weird shit that happened where people were put on lists because they pissed off the wrong people. And, in 2001, it was way easier to do something like that than it is to do it today.
But then you go to buy a gun, and then they say, I'm sorry, you can't purchase this weapon because you're on this list. And then you can
go to a gun show. That's part of the problem.
Yeah.
You go to a gun show, and you can buy a gun far easier.
In Kansas City.
They're trying to tighten that down, though.
Kansas, you can go, and people correct me if I'm wrong. It did a show called This Place Sucks. What am I? And so you go to Kansas, and then you can get a gun with just an ID, Kansas ID. And you can get it in maybe like 5 minutes, zero train. It's nothing. Just you get it right away.
You don't have to have a background check?
Nothing.
Is that true?
Yes.
Was that true like when you did in 2014?
When I did this piece, yeah. But you can look at, can we check that?
Yeah, gun laws,
Kansas
access.
gun law, no background check. No background check. I'm pretty certain. So...
What? Wouldn't people... You have to live in Kansas City?
Listen to what this guy does with his grandma. He walks into this place, and he goes... I can't. The guy says, I can't buy the gun, but she can. Like that, and he buys these 4 guns or something, and he kills a bunch of people. So,
federal law requires federally licensed firearms dealers, but not private sellers, to initiate a background check on the purchaser prior to sale of firearm. As a result, concealed weapons license holders in Kansas are exempt from the federal background check requirement.
Yeah. It's crazy. No training, no background check.
But hold on a second. Concealed weapons license holders. Like, you have to have a concealed weapons license, which is difficult to acquire.
Let me see.
It's not easy to get a concealed weapons license unless they have a different law there. Background checks in Kansas.
That's concealed, but I think you can
But concealed weapons is like the hardest thing to get is a concealed carry. Federal law provides states with the options of serving a state. Kansas has no law requiring firearms dealers to initiate background checks prior to transferring a firearm. As a result, in Kansas, firearms dealers must initiate the background check required by federal law by contacting the FBI directly. Kansas is not a point of contact state. Huh.
Nice.
So they have to contact the FBI. Federal law does not require dealers to conduct a background check if a firearm purchaser presents a state permit to purchase or possess firearms that meet certain conditions. So it seems like there's definitely some wiggle room.
Yeah, for sure. And then, that's what I was talking about, these gun shows where you can just go gobble up a bunch of firearms and AK, and then you can bring them into, that's what they just transport them across state lines. And
it's one of those things like many human issues where there's not a whole lot of like clear paths. It's like there's so many guns, you're never going to take them all away from people. And should you take them all away from them? Like if a guy like you has a gun, I don't feel like you're a danger or a threat unless you get in one of your goddamn tirades.
Yeah, maybe I'm not the best example.
You might shoot a hack.
Yeah, exactly. What fucking stealing what? He's got a gun. So,
did you hear that bit? Like, not a bit. The video. Carlos Mencia was on Joey Diaz's show, saying they thought about bringing a gun around and going to the Comedy Store and shooting people, and he was carrying a gun in his car. Like,
no way.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah. Well, maybe you shouldn't have a gun.
Yeah,
maybe.
Jesus.